What's up, YouTube? Today I want to talk about how my employer made me take out my septum piercing, and this time I wasn't even mad. So, this happened last year too. We basically have inspections. I work in food. I'm not going to say too much. I don't want to dox myself. Not that I think anyone cares. But, anyways, I work in food, and we have to follow the dress code, which is not just food, that's like everywhere, right? But part of it is this is crazy, right? You can only have one facial piercing, and it can be a simple lip, nose, or eyebrow ring or stud. And then right under this, no septum piercings. So you're telling me, because it's not a food safety thing, I know it's not, like, you're telling me that old people who are offended by piercings, or Christian people, or whoever they're concerned about with this rule, are gonna care more about a septum ring than a fucking eyebrow stud? That's wild, but like, whatever. I even emailed the HR lady and I was like, hey, can you explain how a plain simple hoop here is any different than a plain simple hoop here? And all she could do was be like, we follow corporate rules per corporate, and then copy paste it. And I was like, okay, but I tried twice. I was like, okay, but I get that this is a corporate rule, but like, I'm trying to understand why. What is the difference in where the plain simple hoop is on my nose? In either case, it's in my nose. Like, if we're worried about like boogers and shit, like, it's in my nose either way. And she was just like, as stated previously, corporate copy paste. And I was like, okay, I'm not getting anywhere with this. I'm not trying to get fired. So, whatever. And so our inspectors are due to come by again sometime. And so they're cracking down on the rules again. And the rule is no septum piercing. And that's the only facial piercing I had. I don't want any piercings on my face that would leave me with scars. And that's the only one that won't. So I took it out, and for whatever reason, it closes very quickly. Like, if I take it out for a shift, I'm going to have problems putting it back in after my shift, which is like 10 hours. So, I took it out about a week ago. It's probably closed now. And the other rule they have is you can only have 2 ear piercings, and they have to be a basic stud. They can't be dangly, and if they're a hoop, they have to be 3/4 of an inch or less in diameter. So it's funny because they allow 2, so you know it's not about them falling in the food, because if it was, they wouldn't allow any. This is very interesting. These rules are to make sure that you're not too crazy looking for the customers, right? Like, or to look professional, I guess, which I'm like, to look professional, what you need to do is show up to your job. I don't know, like, anyway, I think the rules will shift in a couple, like, years or decades, and they won't care anymore. What I also noticed is on our door, where all the rules are posted, there's nothing about tattoos at all. And I asked the manager, and he said there are rules about tattoos somewhere in a handbook, but, like, they're not posted. So initially I was like, okay, so I can't have a septum piercing, but I can be like, screw corporate, tattoo on my forehead. That's hilarious. But he was like, no, we have rules. But anyways, I thought that was funny. So, on my earrings, I have 4 holes. I have 1 up here and then 3 kind of next to each other. And right now I have stuff like crammed in there just to keep the holes open, because they close fast too. Even the one that I've had since I was like 13, which is wild. But, I got some earrings that are easy to put in and out that I just put in over the weekend, and that's fine. The 2 bottom holes can survive not having earrings in them for a few days without closing, thank God. But the top 2 cannot, so this little diamond stud thing is just permanently in that top one. And then the second to top one, I thought I was going to let it close when they first started cracking down again. And so it almost like halfway closed up all the way, and I had to like shove that thing in it. So that's going to stay in there for a while it heals again. But the point of this video is that, you know, the septum rings not being allowed, here's what I did with mine. These were real, like, goes through the piercing septum rings. And now they look like fake septum rings that you just slide on. Because, essentially, that is what they are. I don't know how these beauty YouTubers do this. I still don't understand to this day. Sorry about that crazy light. I have a sunlight on because I have fucking depression and it's winter. I'll just take them out and show you. But yeah, these were my 3 favorite ones that I was wearing all the time. And if you just get the basic horseshoe barbell ones and then you do it upside down and you put it in and out of your nose until you can find the right thickness to like just pop on. Look at that. That's so much easier. And so I glued a little mushroom charm on this one and you can't even tell, and I can do all kinds of crazy shit and it won't come out. And honestly, easier than having a real piercing. Not that, you know, septum piercings don't really hurt. People think they do. They don't. If yours went through cartilage, they did it wrong. There's something in your septum called the sweet spot that's literally just the tiniest little bit of soft tissue, no cartilage, and they should find that and do it through there. It is the least painful piercing I ever had. Honestly, probably hurts as much as getting a mosquito bite, like, really. But anyways, so there's that one. It's so easy to take in and out now. And what I really like is the ones with the things like this. They don't rotate around now and get crooked. It's so much better. I really liked this one, but I wasn't able to wear it much when it was a real piercing because it would rotate and like scratch the inside of my nose and make it bleed sometimes because I'm a sensitive little bitch. Oh my god. Here, I just put it in and then I'll get like uncomfortably close. It's butterflies. I like this one in the springtime. And now the design will stay centered and it's great. So there's that one. And I got this like 6-pack of plain horseshoe barbells. And these are real. Like I could screw the balls off, but I'm not going to. I guess I could glue them in place. But yeah, I just bent them until they fit good. And then I used some glue. Actually, the specific glue is car emblem adhesive. But it's very similar to E6000, or you could use any like clear craft glue. I don't know if I would use super glue. I would probably use something that's more with a gel-like consistency. And definitely just something clear though, because even on the back you can't see it. It turned out so good. And then here's my last one. This is the one I was wearing all the time. I really like the little twisty design on it. Again, with the focus not being great, I'll put it in. And there it is. And I really love it. And I can just wear them whenever I want. They come in and out. And also if I'm disgusting and having a cold and need to blow my nose and don't want to get boogers all over my rings, I can just take them out, blow my nose, put them back in, boom, easy. What I did to remove the hinges is I have these, they're like pliers, but they're metal cutters. I think they're called diagonal pliers if you look it up, but I just cut the hinges off with that. And yeah, that leaves a bit of a sharp edge sometimes, but where the edge is below the ball and it'll never actually touch my nose, so it kind of doesn't even matter. You could also just use like a nail file or something and file it down, or put some extra glue on the edge if the sharpness bothers you. Like, it's totally fine. You can't see that edge anyway, and it works. Like, that's great. So yeah, this was a actually nice outcome. I was going to be upset about it, but this is actually better than having a regular septum piercing, in my opinion. I will say, if you're somebody that likes the horseshoe look in your septum piercing, I have no idea how you would do that. I know they make magnetic ones, but I would imagine those fall out all the time. I don't know, I've not had one. But I don't like the horseshoe look on myself. I like hoop look. So if you like hoops, this works. But if you want horseshoe look, I don't know. But at least with the horseshoe ones, supposedly you can flip them up inside your nose and hide them for work. So I guess that already is its own solution. But yeah, this was a fun little kind of discovery I made. And I'm not mad that I ever had my septum pierced, because it doesn't hurt and it was a fun piercing to have. And then I got all this fun jewelry. So now I basically just converted it to be able to wear it without the piercing since it closes so fast. But that's how I did that. And let me know if you do this too. Or if your workplace has any weird piercing and body modification rules. All right, bye.